Merry meet, guys. Welcome back to Witch to the Moon. I am your Wednesday host, Houston, and this week we are talking about crystals and crystal magic. Um, I wanted to say that I'm just going to talk about my experience with crystals. I'm not really into the science of crystals. Um, I do love crystals. I have a pretty good collection, but I'm not into like the molecular structure and how it affects the human body, or how it realigns the human body, the energy field. I mean, I know about it. It's just I don't know enough um, to explain it to you guys. So I don't want to come off as an idiot. So I'll just talk about what I know and how I work with crystals and some of my favorite crystals, so on and so forth. So first and foremost, how I work with crystals is I usually when I get a new crystal in is I hold it or I put it under my pillow and I sleep with it for and I have it with me in constant contact for about a week, um, maybe longer, maybe shorter, depending on what the crystal is. Um, and that helps me get the feel of the energy and what it can be good for, instead of just going out of a book and saying, "Oh, Unakite is good for healing and heart emotions and blah 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 blah." But I've also found that just personal thing, Unakite's also connected with Mother Earth. Um, it is connected for me with the heart chakra and healing and self love, and it can also be used in money magic. It can be used in um, spells to bring in more friends, spells to bring in more acquaintances, spells to bring in like-minded people. So I mean, it can be used in so many things. In my perspective, that I feel that it can be used. That's what I should say. So it's not just what the book says. The book is any crystal book, crystal Bible, or whatever. They're fantastic guidelines, but you need to go off your own experiences with the crystals, not just the book. The same thing with herbs. I don't know if we're talking about that this season. I've been kind of ditzy. Um, so with all that being said, like what I like to do with crystals and crystal magic is, of course, carry them. I have two. I'm wearing two today, and I'm also carrying a piece of sunstone. That's what I was called, it was sunstone. It doesn't really have that orange sheen to it. Maybe a piece of milky quartz. Um, I mean, it's pretty. It's very pretty. But I bought a bundle of 10 to 15 stones from a really good friend of mine. They were all supposed to be sunstone, and some of them came out to be like this, and some of them are really gorgeous orange. I've never worked with sunstone before, so I was like, hey, let me give it a shot. She's also the one. If you see me in a couple videos, and I have like a little choker with a little circular pendant, that's a moonstone. I've never worked with moonstone before either. It's weird. Until I bought a pendant from her. Um, she has a fantastic shop, by the way, where she sells crystals, and crystal necklaces and jewelry and stuff that she puts together. I'll put a link down below, to her shop on Etsy. So yeah, morning coffee. Okay, so with that being said, some of my favorite crystals to work with. I love selenite. Selenite's one of my favorites. I don't. We had one in the shop, a piece of selenite in the shop that I really, really, really wanted. Um, it was pretty expensive, but it was a piece like that, and it was fishtail selenite. I've never seen it before, but the energies it gave off were just mind blowing, and I should have bought it. Um, but one of the manager here was showing it to someone, and the person dropped it, and it shattered. So it was gone. Selenite is extremely fragile, uh, so that sucks. I'll have to find some online. I don't have any tumbled pieces, other than like the wands. If you consider the wands tumbled, I have that, and I have a tower, a small little selenite tower. My next stone that I love to work with is argonite. I have 2 pieces of tumbled aragonite. I could get some raw. We have that. I got it at work. I could get some raw here at work, but I don't like the feeling of it because I've picked it up and tried to decide which one I wanted, and I didn't like the feeling of it raw. Um, just because a lot of the pieces on it break off, and I'm not a fan of that. I don't want any of the crystals that I have to kind of break off. Um, but I like the tumbled a lot better. It helps open up my chakras. I usually have that on me or near me when I'm doing a psychic or tarot reading or oracle reading or whatever, doing a reading for someone or myself, just to open up my chakras and to get the energy flowing and cleanse out myself so I'm ready to receive information. The next stone that I'm a big fan of, I have to think, I have a ton of stones. Um, I mean, of course, there's clear quartz, Lemurian quartz. Those are fantastic. Um, okay, so the next favorite stone that I like to work with, I like to wear, is tiger's eye. Um, Especially when I first started out, that was the first gemstone necklace I ever bought was a tiger's eye piece, and I think I've told the story before, but I lent it out to someone. I gave it, didn't lend it out. I gave it to someone who was having a really hard time because tiger's eye for me is known for protection and for seeing through bullshit. Um, and mostly seeing through the illusions of the fairy realm during Litha or midsummer solstice. Um, so I gave it to the person. They were having a hard time, and they disappeared off the face of the earth. The chunk of tiger's eye was about that big, and it was wire wrapped with a hemp cord, and I had it for years. I got it when I was in high school, and I think I gave it to this girl when I was dating my partner, so maybe 21, 22, um, a long time ago. So I was kind of miffed that I mean, it was she got it for a good, she needed it more than I did at the time. So you know how that goes. Um, and I think last year I was just like I don't know, something in me was like I really need a tiger's eye pendant. Like I really just need a tiger's eye pendant. And so my partner and my sister, my partner bought me one, and my sister made me one. She made me a wrapped tiger's eye pendant with another charm on it that had like mother of pearl, black obsidian, another stone that I can't think of at the moment, and a little star that was part of her hand fasting charms. And Nate, my partner, got me a tiger's eye, like an arrowhead, but it's not. It's a tiger's eye triangle that's pointing down. It's very pretty, very like it's super pretty. Um, and I only really wear them out to like special social events. I only wear his out to special social events. I usually wear hers depending on how I feel. Today I felt like wearing these guys. Um, so I do suggest, or I do recommend, is candle and crystal magic for the beginner and the advanced witch. It's just because I mean, over time we study so much, and it gets our craft can get so complicated. It's easy enough to go back and work with something less complicated or simple. Simple does not mean weak or less potent. Simple can mean extremely powerful. And I find that working with crystals, making crystal grids, um, I mean, that is extremely complex. I'm not downing crystal grids and working with crystals and things like that as a simple form of magic. I'm saying that it's easier to learn and to pick up because you have something physical representation in your hand, and it's easy to look up what crystals mean. Um, Whereas certain things, like if you're going into ceremonial magic, it's a little bit difficult to research the steps unless you have the books and all the materials needed. Um, and that type of, and that, I shouldn't say type of, that kind of person too that is interested in that. Um, So for me, how I use crystals and magic is I don't make spritzers, I don't do gem elixirs, just because I know a lot of the stones are toxic, and I haven't researched. I know a couple of them that I could probably do, but I don't want to chance it. So I don't make gem elixirs. I don't make gem spritzers. I mean, I've done the indirect way, and it didn't really have as much oomph as I wanted it to, which I probably could try it again and add a little bit more to it. That may be something I experiment with, but I usually incorporate crystals with my candle magic. So I'll have a candle, you know, um, charged and I don't say stuffed, but dressed. The candle dressed um, with herbs and oils and all that jazz for a particular um, situation. And I usually use the Novella candles, the glass tall jar candles. Um, the Walmart here sells them in different colors, so I don't have to pay like $3. I just pay $1.50 because I think at the metaphysical store that we have here, they're like almost $3. That's expensive. Um, so I usually make a grid around the candle to empower the candle and empower my intention. Like I just had one that I'm gonna have to redo. Um, it's a work in progress, but I can talk about it. I've had one a candle that I had going last week, and I used for the friend of mine, but I used the sunstone that she gave me to bring in more energy and to like radiate energy into the situation. Um, and I placed them in a triangle around the candle, and I activated the grid to the candle. And there's tons of ways you can look on YouTube on how to activate crystal grids. I'm not going to go over that. Another thing I like to do is, like I said, I like to wear them with me. I like to take them with me when I go out to the grocery store. Because I'm not a big fan of going to grocery stores just because they can be overwhelming at times. Especially last week at Thanksgiving, that was a little bit too much. But I mean, it's to be expected. So I usually have at least one crystal on me for protection and just to shield myself from everything coming at me at once when I'm in a mall or a grocery store or, just out and about. And at work, I usually have one or two crystals on me as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed my video for this week, and I am hoping you guys can hear me. Um, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And until next time, many blessings.